All right, welcome back to another Jolie Schmoly, Joe the Drummist Flight Sim video. This one is at Creswell Airport. As you can clearly see by the sign, 77S Hobby Field, another scenery done by ORBX. This one's very special to me as this is where I actually learned to fly. Right there behind me, right there, at a flight club called Take Wing. Still there if you want to learn to fly. Go check them out. I'm going to run through an actual checklist that I used to use on the aircraft I was flying. It's going to be a little bit different because there are things that are not on this Carenado version. And so, if checklists bore you, jump ahead to, I don't know, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. I'll put it down in the description once I get this all done. Alright, here I go. Jumping in the aircraft. So, we have already done the exterior, I'm assuming. Everything's ready to go. Cold and dark. I'm going to get rid of this just so I can see what I'm doing. So first off, passenger briefing complete. I told you where we were. And I would have briefed you on a whole bunch of other things. Seat belts, we don't really have them. Brake is on. Parking brake is on right there. Beacon light on. So that is this one. Beacon light, oh, and it was on. Oops. Carb ice detector off. I don't have one in here. Carb heat off. Mixture full rich. And prime 1 to 3 times. So I don't think there's actually a prime. Yeah, there's no prime on this one, but that's what we'd do in the. Oh, there it is. So prime 1 to 3 times, which is totally unnecessary. This particular model in this particular simulation, because this guy didn't prime. And throttle 1/4 of an inch, so that's just barely in, and start both. So. And I missed something on the checklist. I missed 2 things. One is the power, master power on, and the other thing I missed was clear area. So you would open this window here and close the door, and I would yell clear prop real loud, like, even if there's nobody around, because there could be somebody walking up behind me. And then I've got my foot on the brakes. Starts right up. Every time. Love the little smoke. Love the smoke. And then we continue on through our checklist. 900 to 1,000 on the throttle, so I'm a little hot. Bring that back. Oil pressure temp in the green. Oil pressure and temperature need to be in the green. They're not there yet. Flaps retract because we would have been looking at everything. Radios and intercom set. This is set. Transponder on standby, so we would have it on 1. Whoops. 1200 standby. Fuel flow indicator select set. Okay, so that's interesting. It just did it for me. Oh, I know why I didn't catch that. And carb ice detector on reset. So on the airplane I was flying, we had an ice detector that would, basically it was a light, what we call an idiot light in the hot rod world. And then we're going to turn on the beacon on, landing light, taxi light. We're going to turn the nav lights on. I always like people to see what I'm doing. And off we go. Going to fly around here a little bit. Then I'm going to switch aircraft for part 2. Alright, checklist is all done. And we're ready to do a little lap around the pattern, which is what I did for most of my flight training. I have got my track IR on now, and so I can look around, sure we're not going to run into someone as we pull out here. And check out this beautiful Oregon scenery. So, lots of grass, trees, all these things. Can't wait to see the new stuff. I'll be taxing a little fast here because, well, it's more interesting. It's just more interesting. So I'm cruising down the taxiway. It's a very nicely detailed and close representation of Creswell Airport. I even used to know the person who lived in that house on the corner there, which has a taxiway right to the runway, but then the city wouldn't allow me to use it, but that's a long story. So now that we're up near the runway, normally I would head right over here and do a run-up, but I think that's a little boring in a simulator, so I'm just going to do my quick checks. So what do I look at? Instruments are always set, but in the RW world we have to set this right here to match that. Make sure this is set. Sure your altimeter is set. Landing light comes on, and make carb heat should be off. Which it is not, so I run the whole pattern with the carb heat on. Whoops. That's right. I'm doing this in instant replay so I can have more camera angles. Secrets revealed. My instructor used to tell me, don't follow the yellow line. Use as much runway as you've got. So move all the way out here. Hit the runway. And take another check. And on this second check, we might realize that the landing light's not on. Hit that. And you can turn the carb heat off. And here we go. Now I'm just pulling back a little bit, just keeping pressure on the yoke as I cruise down the runway. At about 55, boom, it just lifts right off. Such an awesome airplane. And as soon as we're nice and positive about our flight, we check the traffic first. Check traffic. Lift your wing if you need to, put your nose down if you need to. Turn your landing light off. Should have turned carb heat off, but I can't see it with this massive yoke. Lift the wing to look over to the left, because we're going to do left pattern. 500 feet. We can make our turn. And here we go. Very realistic interpretation of the scenery here. Got the I-5 freeway, and the 99 highway, the city of Creswell, make our turn. Downwind, and something my instructor didn't like, don't head straight for that hill, give yourself a little room. I'm at 1400, it's perfect traffic altitude. Now I do the sea glumps. So that is carb heat, it's already on. Oops, gas. Make sure the gas is on both. gas on both. Undercarriage. So just check the brakes in this aircraft. We know they're down. Landing light comes on. Which I got distracted. So now I'm high and fast. I'm going to pull back power. Now my landing light's on. Put in flaps. And relax. So get a little more space between me and the runway, because I'm already short. Take my time, let it come down. Mixture's full rich. Power prop, fuel pump as required. There's no prop, there's no fuel pump. So we're only concerned with power. We want about 75 knots coming in here. We'll put in another degree of flaps as soon as we're straight. There it is. Now, my instructor said don't be putting in a lot of flaps close to the runway, because at this point we're concentrating on the landing. I went past the runway, so just adjust. You have to adjust all the way to the ground, and everything's set up pretty good. Just about the speed we want. Easy 10 miles an hour over stall. Got the runway. Looking down to the back end, something I forget all the time, especially in the sim. And we're going to make a nice landing. We're not going to hit the numbers because it's too close to grass. I'm trying to hit the first or second line. There goes the second line. There's the third line. That's 300 feet. So I'm definitely long. Definitely long. However, still able to stop because it's a Cessna 172 and you're barely moving when you land. Stopping in plenty of time. Pulling off the runway. Now I clean it up, bring up the flaps, turn off carb heat, turn off carb heat, and turn the alternative standby, which it's been on the whole effing time, because I forgot to turn it to on. FAA is gonna kill me. $1 billion fine. Taxi back over here by the flight school. Actually, it was a flight club, take wing. It's not on the door, it's not that detailed, but back where we started. Thanks for flying along. I'm going to do part 2. Before I put this up, I'll have part 2 finished. And that will be, well, I think back in the R66 turbine. Why not? And show a little more detail. But this is pretty awesome. Pretty fun airport. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and save. Okay, you won't really save anything.